So, let's talk about something that's absolutely critical for every single educator in a modern classroom: our digital duty. We've got all these amazing tech tools at our fingertips, which is awesome, but it also means we've got to be smarter than ever about protecting our students' data.
You know how it is. You find this incredible new app. It's a total game changer, and the kids are finally excited about learning. It's so easy to just get swept up in that excitement. But we have to stop and ask ourselves, what's going on behind the screen? What information is this tool collecting, and where is it going? And that question leads us to the bottom line. This isn't just a good idea or a suggestion from the IT department. Protecting student data and privacy, well, that's a core part of our job. It's a fundamental professional responsibility. All right, so to do this right, we need to know exactly what we're protecting. And that conversation starts with a really important acronym, PII. It stands for Personally Identifiable Information. So here's the official definition. PII is basically any piece of info that could be used to figure out who a student is. But I want you to pay really close attention to that last part, either directly or indirectly. That is so key because it means we have to think way beyond just a student's name.
And this is where it all becomes real, right? Think about the stuff we handle every single day: that student ID number for lunch, their name on an assignment, their birthday for a little classroom celebration, even something like the location data from an app they use for homework. Any of these things, especially when you put them together, is PII, and it's our job to protect it. Okay, so now we know what we need to protect. The next question is how? What are the rules? Well, that brings us to the big one, a really important federal law called FERPA.
If you've worked in a school in the US, you've definitely heard of FERPA. It's kind of the bedrock of student privacy law. And at its heart, it does two main things. First, it gives parents rights over their child's school records. And second, it lays out very clear rules for how schools can and can't share that information.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. The whole point of the law is to put parents in control and make sure that anytime a school shares a student's records, whether it's with a new school or a new piece of software, it only happens under very strict, legally defined conditions. So if you want to boil it all down, you can think of FERPA as having three main jobs. 1, give parents rights. 2, set the rules for sharing. And 3, by doing those first two things, it protects student privacy by controlling who gets to see their information. Simple, but incredibly powerful. Okay, so FERPA gives us the framework, but what are we actually protecting, and what does that protection really look like in practice? To get that, we need to understand two more key ideas: education records and confidentiality.
I love how this slide breaks it down. It makes it so clear. Just think of it this way. Education records are the thing we protect. The files, the documents, the data itself. Confidentiality is the action we take to protect it, the process of making sure only the right people can see it. One's the what, the other's the how. Which, of course, leads to the most important practical question of all. If confidentiality is all about limiting access to authorized individuals, well, who are they? Who actually gets to be in that group?
This is basically the circle of trust. It starts, of course, with parents and legal guardians. After that, it's school officials who have what's called a legitimate educational interest. That just means people like teachers, counselors, and administrators who actually need that information to do their jobs and support the student. Pretty much anyone outside of this circle needs very specific legal permission to get access. All right, let's bring this all home. We've defined PII, we've gone through FERPA, and we've talked about records and confidentiality. But what does it all mean for you on a busy Tuesday afternoon in your classroom? Here's what it all boils down to. Following the law is not optional, but our professional duty goes so much deeper than just checking a box. Every time we are careful with student information, we are building trust with those students and their families. It's the absolute foundation of the relationships we have. So the next time you're about to click agree on that new app, just ask yourself, am I protecting the student's data? And by doing that, am I honoring that trust?